Now, Aston Villa manager Tim Sherwood says he's reluctant to talk about Emmanuel Adebayor whilst he's still a Tottenham player. The striker had been linked with a move to Villa Park, and Sherwood admits that he had been keen to discuss a move.
You know, it's unfair for me to talk about. He's a Tottenham player, you know, and I can't speculate on where he might go or where he might end up. He's, as I say, he's there playing. Still their player, and that's it.
But he was here at one point, wasn't he? He was physically here at Bodymoor Heath.
Yeah, he was here. Yeah, and we spoke. But he's a Tottenham player.
Was it a situation? Was the player more complex than the deal? Was it trying to convince him to come here? Did that put you off? Or?
No. We had discussions, and he's still a Tottenham player. So obviously, something went wrong.
Now, how big a deal to the mentality of the squad was the likes of Christian and Fabian leaving, and how did you get around that? What did you have to speak to the lads? No,
them two guys have been good servants to this football club, and I think everyone here accepted that they've moved on now, and it's a new dawn, and we have to go at it with the new players what we've got, and try and be more successful than we have been.
So interesting that Tim Sherwood didn't want to talk too much about signing Emmanuel Adebayor from Tottenham, but it's definitely one to watch. Tony, one of your former clubs, there's been so much transition over the summer already. We can see that the transfers in and out, losing the likes of Christian Benteke, you know, Fabian Delph as well, some other experienced players in there as well. Are they in good nick?
Well, Tim didn't look into good nick, did he? He looked really shattered. Look, it's been a big summer for him. He's made major changes at Aston Villa, and like you said, lots of players had to go. The big losses, obviously, goals from Benteke. Delph was the engine of the midfield. I think he's done a lot of interesting signings. Out of all the clubs in the Premier League this year, I'm looking, I think, you know, Rudy Gusted is a good player. I think he got in reasonable. You know, bringing someone like Mika Richards back to the club from Fiorentina. He was an England fullback 4 years ago. Scott Sinclair done really well from him on loan. There's so many interesting signs. I think the boy Jordan Anu is going to have to deliver what he did for Lorient, because he got goals, you know, and he's going to have to do that for Villa, because they've lost Benteke, which is a problem for them. But I think Tim's done what he's had to do, but they've got to get, I think, majority of these transfers have got to work for Villa to have a really good season.
It seemed as if, talking about Emmanuel Adebayor, that both he and Adebayor had a great relationship at Tottenham. Do you think he would be tempted to keep pushing away at that deal, because it seems to be on and off and on and off?
Yeah, I mean, it was cringeworthy at times, wasn't it, him and Adebayor? But I think he obviously likes him as a player, and he probably feels that he can get the best out of Adebayor, because I think we've seen probably for the last 3 or 4 seasons that, yes, he can score you goals, but has his attitude been quite what you'd want to see? Especially a forward now who's got to lead the line. He needs to be more dynamic, and maybe Tim Sherwood sees him as he's the one that can get the best out of Adebayor. And if he can, then you have got someone who can score goals in the Premier League, and they're going to need it.